Presentation Skills Part 2. Learning Objectives. Number 1. Introduction, what and why. Number 2. Engaging audience. Number 3. Structuring powerful presentations. Number 4. Dealing with challenges. Number 5. Delivering effective presentations. Engaging the audience. Engagement is a very important deal. But why? How? Know your audience. How to know your audience. Audience analysis. Benefits. What are their names, designation, backgrounds, reasons for attending, etc. Helps building rapport. What does the audience already know and needs to know? Helps defining learning objectives. What are their needs and expectations from the presentation? Helps arrange points logically and sequentially. What are their fears, hot buttons, and attitudes? Helps in handling challenges. What are their questions likely to be? Helps preparing for answers of the questions. Know your audience. Audience analysis. Benefits. Would they have taken their meal? Helps identifying if they have energy to hear complex ideas. What is the size of the audience? Larger audiences demand more energy from the speaker. Helps speaker prepare for it accordingly. Who are the worst audience and how to deal with them? Tired audience. Engage your audience. There is something in the air today. With those words, Steve Jobs opened Macworld. This opening statement shall sure engage any audience as it is short, clear, and generates curiosity. Never tire your audience with the contents. Execution is very vital. You need to entertain to make people want to listen to you. Let's answer a few questions. Did the opening of the presentation generate curiosity? No. Was the speaker well versed with his subject? Yes. Did the speaker try and explain his slides? No. Did the speaker tell a story, share an experience? No. Were the participants happy at the end? No. In fact, most of them were sleeping. So, how do we engage our audience? What is the solution to this? Tell them what you are going to tell them. Tell them and tell them what you just told them. Use stories and examples for connection and association. Make a simple point by telling a relevant story. Built-in case studies, Q&A, and feedback sessions to promote interaction with the speaker and with the fellow participants. Make your talk flavorful with a variety of fascinating facts, insights, and bold opinions that are sprinkled with a dash of style, passion, and humor. Improve your presentation real-time. Skilled speakers monitor the room and look for audience cues such as interest and boredom. You can even stop and ask the audience for their input on how it's going. Be 2 steps ahead of your audience. Dazzle your audience. Number 1. Set the theme. There is something in the air today. With those words, Jobs opened Macworld. By doing so, he set the theme for his presentation and generated curiosity, hinted at the key product announcement, the ultra-thin MacBook Air laptop. Remember, once you identify your theme, make sure you deliver it several times throughout your presentation. Number 2. Demonstrate enthusiasm. When demonstrating a new location feature for the iPhone, Jobs said, "It works pretty doggone well." Your audience wants to be wowed, not put to sleep. Therefore, inject your own personality into it. Use words like extraordinary, amazing, and cool. Remember, if you are not enthusiastic about your own products or services, how do you expect your audience to be? Number 3, provide an outline. Jobs outlined the presentation by saying, "There are 4 things I want to talk about today, so let's get started." Jobs followed his outline by verbally opening and closing each of the 4 sections and making clear transitions in between. Remember, make lists and provide your audience with guideposts along the way. Number 4, make numbers meaningful. When Jobs announced that Apple had sold 4 million iPhones to date, he didn't simply leave the number out of context. Instead, he put it in perspective by adding, "That's 20,000 iPhones every day, on average." Jobs went on to say, "What does that mean to an overall market?" Jobs gave details to demonstrate just how impressive the number actually is. Remember, numbers don't mean much unless they are placed in context. Connect the dots for your listeners. Number 5, try for an unforgettable moment. In 2008, Macworld Keynote, it was the announcement of MacBook Air. To demonstrate just how thin it is, Jobs said it would fit in an envelope. He drew cheers by opening a manila inter-office envelope and holding the laptop for everyone to see. His presentations built up to one big scene. Remember, this is the moment in your presentation that everyone will be talking about. Identify your one memorable moment ahead of time and build up to it. Number 6, create visual slides. There is very little text on a Steve Jobs slide. Most of the slides simply show one image. For example, his phrase, "The first thing I want to talk to you about today," was accompanied by a slide with the numeral 1. Sometimes, there were no images at all on the slide, but a sentence that Jobs had delivered, such as, "There is something in the air." Remember, there is a trend in public speaking to paint a picture for the audiences by creating more visual graphics. Number 7, give them a show. A Jobs presentation has ebbs and flows, themes and transitions. Since he gave his audience a show instead of simply delivering information, Jobs included video clips, demonstrations, and guests he shares the stage with. Remember, enhance your presentations by incorporating multimedia, product demonstrations, or giving others the chance to say a few words. Number 8, don't sweat the small stuff. Jobs was about to show some photographs from a live website, and the screen went black while Jobs waited for the image to appear. It never did. Jobs smiled and said, "Well, I guess Flickr isn't serving up the photos today." He then recapped the new features he had just introduced. That's it. It was no big deal. Remember, don't sweat minor mishaps. Have fun. Few will remember a glitch unless you call attention to it. Number 9, sell the benefits. When introducing iTunes movie rentals, Jobs said, "We think there is a better way to deliver movie content. We've never offered a rental model in music because people want to own their music. You listen to your favorite song thousands of times in your life, but most of us watch movies once. And renting it is less expensive. Doesn't take up space on a hard drive." Remember, clearly state the benefit of every service, feature, or product. Don't make your listeners guess. Number 10, rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Jobs rehearsed the entire presentation aloud for many hours. Nothing was taken for granted. His words were often perfectly synchronized with the images and text on the slides. When Jobs was showing examples of the films that are available on the new iTunes movie rental service, one poster of a particular film appeared at the exact moment he began to talk about it. Remember, a Steve Jobs presentation looks effortless because it was well rehearsed. Joe is a manager in the information technology IT department of his organization. He is an expert in his field. He is asked by his supervisor to give a presentation on the new IT process which is soon to be implemented. He is told since the participants cannot take much time off work, he needs to finish his presentation in 2 hours max. He conducts the presentation on the scheduled day. He explained the new IT process with technical diagrams and detailed process maps. However, due to lack of time, he could not take questions. He also found few participants yawning, but that didn't concern him as there were only 2 to 3 of them. He is very happy with the way he conducted the session. Post the session, he reviews the feedback forms and is surprised that on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, he has got a 5 on his session. He asks himself, why? Joe did not analyze his audience. He was a subject matter expert, but failed to convert his knowledge into simple information for his non-technical participants. He had not planned his presentation, hence failed to finish it on time. Subsequently, he could not take any questions. His participants were yawning, but he chose to ignore and not act on this cue. He failed to dazzle his audience as they scored him very low on his presentation. Recap. You must KED. Number 1, know your audience. Number 2, engage your audience. And number 3, dazzle your audience.